said moda sona gold bars in dollars emu amebua konta emu cedis ma amebua konta dia we can only assume somewhere we are na yempese ye be assume somewhere we are eti madaroma national security momra me account to the people gold bars na muko hunu ye dollars na muko hunu opoku ase no momra me account to the people please come and account to the people yesere mu a muntimi mfa gold bars nkogumu dem muntimi mfa dollars 12 containers of dollars nkogumu dem na yen cover business as usual yebebusa mo 1 year down the lane a yedi to me ma mo sa gold bars in dollars no ewo he the relevant question we are asking is sa dollars in gold bars no me pa mo cho ewo he national security ewo he se mo antimi anchire mu a we assume that jakwane ne nkrofo awia. That is the only assumptions that can come to our head. It is a jakwa when you nkrofo awia sika we dia. You must account to the people where the monies are, where the gold bars are. We won't treat this business as usual. It is not the first public announcement. Now, second public announcement. DVL won sensem me say ko ne baba before DVL no. TikTok minister Wadaroma mienka was say ene mene wo kasa no. Sofo line. Why you say pika. Now, I'm say 2 days ago, the whole place went, a doom fui. Our brand TikTok minister, Asha Wellington Boot, say so combat here. Kumasi nyina doom no, na TikTok minister, Asha Wellington Boot, and the combat, no than I'm TikTok a year, samba. Now, I have made a resolution, say, he's our guy, I probably won't touch him. But with that said, I think he should get serious with the job a little bit. Agrono adorso. As a governance in India, TikTok and social media, there are serious issues. Kumasi yesum, kumasi na bide chire winti. Dr. Frank Amwakoyne, waje fans wa TikTok ni bi washa Wellington Boot ni kambu. Aje fans wa TikTok ni bi get to the work and work. Stop the propaganda. With time, it will catch up with you. If you don't stop the propaganda with time, it will catch up with you. Minuano, we yami okay. And this in our moon shed mukua sante form emran mabawa. It is the fact that Mama Aquine, I am not in any shape or form willing to drag you down. So that is not my. But the way I would dear grown door so juma. And what's a man for not gonna say, man for the pediatrics. Minister Washa Kambu, you combat, mortar combat, no nam. It you know the difference is okay, but the pertinent issues of developing the region, I think we must get serious with some of these issues. You move away. Now, DVLA boss, Minuano, Logas, any or more enya a year fracas be yanko cheese and some way, my address. Thank you. Okay, I catch him say, oh, Mr. P, you free so? Aha, Mr. P, you free so. Inti yanko ni yanko Mr. Yanko.
Training, say a shy, won't say normal plate, won't some bebre. And Abba, it's no Nancy, I say, you must say, Ghana, the Edinburgh, ye Juma. It's you who says, said, but I Ghana, I'm running for now on my pioneer, I say. Juma, number plate in a yebo. It may be anywhere you can number plate home. Ya Ghana plate since 1995, I did numbers when we started say, even before 95, but in 95, I up to date, it's about 30 something years. I mean, yeah, Jumana 31 years in it. It's a Nabas years, some later. As my year can say, Abani Maya, young Kosoanya Juma. Go to your domain, we are just a few people because here to me, Fanny Makota, young Koha. It's about 46 companies, almost 50 companies. I registered. He share taxes me a baby and yes, Ghana buying or trying money on more common day. Okay. Into your panacho on fire, do my mind. na yenkoye adwuma as Moses na yewia ye nyina beda Ghana ase esan se Ghana woni adwuma ya wo mobo ye pa no cho we ne de hwe ye yere ne ye mma ye busue nyina gida ye kan nyina ne se ye sre no oma ye kwan ne yenkonkoye adwuma na ye mbo ye Ghana number plate okay foforo na omo se omo de ba no enya ma medu ye okay dada ya omo abo eba kromi so ya na ye na ye den ne de obi afa ekire ekwa akobo anase ye de ama nipa ba akofo pesebe Ghana nye nipa ba akofo dia nipa ba akofo ndidi eye kakra sa nipa ba akụ ya ye kan ya so no oka ye hu bi eti den ti no no kwa afa ekire ekoje na je se ne o mebi nkoyie ye mfa nkonti ba enkasa ye nye dede na emo ye de beba eja amamre nimfo no ya sere omo se ye sada ye nsa ye pacho omo ma ye nko ye adwuma.
The party that banti waje adwuma no. Okay, that means or the political party
yes, or person the room. Na ye nsi adwuma no non politics because ye wa ha no ye nye politics wa adwuma no mu.
Okay.
Aha, enti ye sere aban ma ye nkonko ye adwuma na obia eni beje said ye te na.
Okay, but your association FM sir.
VEMAC, Vehicle Enforcement Association of Ghana.
Okay.
VEMAC.
All right. Okay. That's super.
Yo, we are VEMAC for omo omo free court and ibusa omo. Na omo say obi eje nipa ba akofo so we NDC ni it was the contract ni nyina na dem. Lucas, you are my brother, so probably I wish I could speak to you on these matters behind the scenes. But since it borders on national concern, then yendi sound common in public. Lucas, first of all, minim the MMYJ company no contract na free a lot of people some ediama one person. I want to so it won't augur well for your government, and you know some of these mistakes for the interest of the larger group of Ghana. I'm not interested in playing politics with it. It won't augur well. But even aside that, it won't augur well. Menyanti Esa was from 2023, 2024, 2025. Obi a register ne ka bia no onsan famra DVL na medwene ho amenti ase no omeye re-registration because money digital information on their cars. So first of all, if money digital information on their cars, technology and mo pesa mo de cure mischief. So Lucas, so pesa wo cure mischief with technology. You don't cause a lot of problems for the people. Because the only reason to person we hear digital appearance is say manfo ne ho ntomo. Now also catch any people ma register several millions of Ghanaian people. Or ma register mo ka 2023, 2024, 2025. Say omonsampu emra DVL emeye day. So if it is about keeping of records and data, how can you use technology to make the life of the people simpler? I'm giving you a suggestion and I think you must look into it. Adebako alogas unu timbetimiaye ne say mo the physical copy of DVL records on these cars. Let somebody build a software. Sa software no. Enu bia na mo begina so. Upload more records now mo na mo dia gu sa software ne so. Now let the people sit in the comfort of their homes. Now omo nso enko sa platform kro ya so. Upload omoka registration document se form seal se there you where it gives you all the necessary document no. Omo ntwa omoka number plate as including omo picture verification. They can verify their face on the app. Omo upload it. Say even sika 17 also omonsamra DVL. There is no point say obemomadba DVL. As part of the registration, maybe you can link it to mobile money BBA. So omudu it can go straight to mobile money for them to pay using their own mobile money. Say they buy and cause inconvenience masa ankrofo say obi answering free in fee ensamra DVL. And may cause huge traffic, huge inconvenience to the people. When you want to cure a mischief in the society, you don't cause inconvenience with the mischief you seek to cure. Mestre, Lucas, let your technology people technical people look into this. You should build a software. So software, no more records are more already on cars. Let them upload it on those platforms. So they may synchronize information. It is a meme car and a winning records, digital records on it. The obeya ne say mo mu ni kan upload mo information mo won fiscal one no. Said the obeya me metimi akọ mo platform ne so. Na metwa form C no upload. Metwa manim verify. Me de me ID card aka ho. This is doable. This is not rocket science. This is doable and you must be able to do this. So Logas, please, don't cause inconvenience for the people. I know you have good intention. You want to change. Many what dinkomobi behind the scenes. Even our car registration. So your car registration, you know, a year. Your day, a year 10. Your day 5, 25, 26, etc. I personally have a problem with it. Because the psychological impact of Ghanaian people when it comes to buying car. Obi betimi ato car. No odi esi ho ontwi. Wa register me the 25 for church ontwi. The moment I register you who 25 no car that yempe. Obi nso betimi the DV abo ho atwi ne saa more than 5 years. And the reason people refuse to register their car and use DV for so many years is because of Sadia no. Because the moment I register no, it devalues the car. It is not person curious mischief by taking away 25, 26 in the Adena. I am on the same page with you. I think we should do that. But in the course of doing that, you don't need to create an inconvenience for people. You're really behind, you're really beyond their way. And say, Obi answer for the camera, Nyansa be any. Logas, Nyansa be any. You must be able to cure the mischief without causing inconvenience for the people. That is what I will say for today. Now, young call your first topic. So, your first topic has to do with a year Bank of Ghana. You retrieve information be where a information you retrieve from Bank of Ghana. Leaked report. Say Bank of Ghana about a year so-called recapitalization of microfinance institutions. Ye name the SC or Omaimu Pay. A very troubling turn of a year event. It raises serious questions of transparency and accountability. As you share the true intentions behind a year Bank of Ghana recapitalization, Mobekaya Omaye be paying. And on the ma a year banking sector no emuye mere. Kufuado beto ya and what try say all chaos and mischief no esako say enough problem. So despite the loud announcement, a Bank of Ghana tries to obey no. But before that, COVID-19 levy. Yet to Chroma say my year John Dramani Mahama be catcher so we repeal COVID-19 levy. But my catcher says I buying we no catcher such a sura form. And with time the people will get to understand say abino kill net abine bia and chain. Eti yet to Chroma year John Dramani Mahama be catcher so COVID-19 akufuado de no de buy and a scam o we amanfo no. So we amanfo no de awo no a repeal. O repeal from a year last year November basin there. Yebusa Yera John Dramani Mahama say is GRA aware say enkrofo da so charge COVID-19 levy ana. Yen hwe sa video wi.
This is a COVID Health Recovery Levy Repeal Act 2025. And it's my honor and privilege to sign to repeal the COVID levy. Promise made, promise delivered. And today is the 10th of December, 2025. Sign.
10th of December 2025. Anna President Mahama a repeal COVID-19 levy. Repeal ye no ani it must take effect. Some no woka say. Yera John Dramani Mahama so a repeal COVID-19 levy. But just so as of today, despite the announcement, the presidential declaration, say COVID-19 health recovery levy no were repealing no. Ghana for gusu etria and now omuntria. Some no ka say a minor glitch. This is not transitional hiccup. Where a daylight robbery because GRA say every day biano munya over 9 million Ghana cedi every COVID-19 levy home. It is yes, repealing as of 10th December, 11 December, 12 December, 13th, 14th, so 30th, 31st, Yogusuje, up to 1st January, 2nd, 3rd, ebesi a nay on the 12th. Yankoni a nay on the 12th. Sir, okay. Yanhwa diwi. Where a VIP for receipt, which is a year 2nd January 2026. Where I see here, COVID-19 levy no, a John Domani Mahama. Say web repealing no, Tiyamo Yensemano no. Wamugo so air charge. And GRA is aware. Ye repeali adhere as of 10th December. Still a yeguso edge. Who is benefiting from this air discrepancy? Why pocket in a sesika way echo? Why is the public being kept in the dark on this? And this one is not me saying the numbers don't lie. They say GRA say every day on daily, every single day, Biano, or more generate not less than a year 9 million. So if 9 million Ghana cedi from 10 for no a year no, basi ne, or more so charge COVID-19 levy no. Yanhwa sa a year receipt way from Better Shopping on the 6th of January, which is about 6 days ago. Still our COVID-19 levy no a year John Dramani Mahama so we repealing no. Better Shopping eda so eje COVID-19 levy. So see a year calculation within a space of a year 12 days into the new year, GRA receiving no less than a year 80 million Ghana cedi. That is by calculation. Because the levy was no longer in law, because the government had already declared it abolished, because the people were told, said the burden has been lifted. This is pure thievery. Where is the money going to? Where is the money going to? Eko obiboto mu ana. Sensu GRA ama instructions say COVID-19 levy yentwam. Ana still no companies be charging, which is VIP, which is Better Shopping, among other companies. I intentionally did not hide their name because these companies must be called to order then and must be brought to the book and yet treating business as usual. The levy is no longer enforced. Why is it being collected? But a yakioneta buying omukasa shesura shefom omukasa shefomwa shesuro and yamana meka. Yes, and you rajon do mani mama bio. Yente bio COVID-19 away you know yente bio.
And it's my honor and privilege to sign to repeal the COVID levy. Promise made, promise delivered. And today is the 10th of December, 2025. Signed. Purported to provide free water, free electricity, free food, and a lot of things. And to the shock of most Ghanaians after the pandemic was over and after the elections were over, government slapped Ghanaians with a 1% value-added tax, ostensibly to recover what it's supposed to have spent on the COVID pandemic. Ghana continued to remain one of the only countries where we're being taxed for a pandemic that had passed. And so during the election, we promised that when the NDC comes to power, the COVID levy is one of those who repeal. A lot of Ghanaians have disliked this tax, and today I'm pleased that on the 10th of December 2025, I've signed the repeal act to remove the 1% COVID levy.
Abayne se were repealing, but behind the scenes were COVID-19 levy no. Eti mo bia nyini. Makacheram sa abayne wo kasa hwesoro hwefom. But still what the goodwill of the people and when once washe kambu red gold green be a trending near dear woman in the picture no yini ade na wate mo adwene ase onim said the relevant issues no nya mo interest kra we you concert no a mo kai first one na oba ye no so eno so no okotenatena moto so no otwi ne eboje ne so. But what I know is that with time sa honeymoon na omudi no a better Ghana for any so the Ghanaian people will come to see through the veil of theatrics and will be pierced and we will see it clearly. Enti COVID-19 level no omu chatro enya do correct. Now you move away from COVID-19 levy. Makacham says Samijamfi ene Bank of Ghana aban ni ye atura ban. They spend so much on propaganda rather than the reality on the ground. Still, but it doesn't shock me. I don't care. The NTN shock him, they say, eye me ankasa maban. MPP aban ebaye. Ekufadu nyoma bebrawo, oh, while appointing 110 ministers, I had a problem with it. I kept on complaining. Now, omo edi matem. I didn't really bother because let me hunu nyoma nkufo ebre and exactly what I see with this government. Ene omo se makase akire eyimaka bia etie oforiata eti afa na madwena bafi there be mo na madwena nye papa. You have been conscientized to believe what you want to believe. At what point you want to believe it? Ejene se meka bi tie oforiata wo se there be afa na madwena bafi wo na afa na wadwena bafi ebi se mekase tie oforiata aban munya bi bo every xyz mekase tie aba wo mia munya bi bo free xyz mekase tie Akufo-Addo munya bi bo free xyz. Still, most of Okatakyie adwene be fie ne because afre no work be ati oforiata. Wo no wadwene nya adwuma so you have selective hearing. Enyeme. So wadwene ye adwuma dia. Ene nka obenya unya selective hearing ka beka se Okatakyie Afrifa na aban wa aban mu 8 years wono omo koin. Jomama aban ya ba oye very critical of them. It has nothing to do with NDC or MPP. I am being me. We are going to take you through the journey of this political history. Say between MPP, but before that, Makacham said BOG Gold Board omo nka no kore mobeka ya omo hihye adwuma bi ema mia menua eye obi of Asempa FM extra RTI right to information bill BOG moma menhwe se oboa eye adwuma hihye na BOD buy so MPP for boka gold for reserve. Now gold for reserve no reporter BOG no ankasa de nhyahye ase 2024 no. So I report to the NEA. Nowhere within the report, Anna Omo admit say a cabo bi will gold for reserve. But gold board as me buy ye. Omati aka me believe say MPP for boka will gold for reserve. And NDC for nso aba no mo to aka no so. Me catch them say bibia say ni ho. And then nyamencha dia say when you the house of propaganda. This is the House of Records. It is a Okabibia, SOTM supported. And the Bank of Ghana Governor, Ure Siama, Ekoko PMO, a Public Accounts Committee. Now, Public Accounts Committee no Koko PMO, he is supposed to provide records. A cabo ben ya bo. Only gold board namso MPP Bobi did that, one Bobi. Yanko tie, honorable Osasari, Abno Osasari. Any Bank of Ghana interaction. When we a Bank of Ghana there, when I am governor, wouldn't him say record to a horsey a boka, where it should be at your fingertips. It should be at your fingertips. And so Yebusa Bank of Ghana governor, Munti Common said Yakoi.
I want to find out from you that 3.8 billion loss that you mentioned. Can I find it in your financial statements for 2024?
Madam Chair.
Adam, respectfully, you can't do that.
We Honorable Abino Seasari Busane said 2024. Samose losses no yenyan gold for reserve no. In your report one wa prepare awodiaba. And here fan young conquer report ni mu say MPP are buying gold for reserve wa. Yenti enkomo said yenti.
Finally, I want to find out from you that 3.8 billion loss that you mentioned. Where can I find it in your financial statements for 2024?
Madam Chair.
Adam, respectfully, you can't do that.
On record. It's important for us to, especially when
Governor, can
Yes.
you please show me where I can find the 3.8 billion loss in your
Madam
financial
Chair, we
statements?
will provide that to the committee.
No, because I have seen the 1.8 billion in your financial statement.
Governor,
I have seen.
Hold on. Honorable Abnas Asa Tobuase. Governor, what prepare report to the Aba? What the kind of man for what he says, MPP aban ya kromfo. MPP aban ya corrupt. MPP aban mismanage economy to the point that ya boka 3.8 billion. And a man for no GD. And the war appear before a year public accounts committee, which is House of Records and no propaganda. Honorable say Abena Osasari is asking you a simple question of Governor. What report now were prepared their banner? And here found a loss in one amin konko can be. The Honorable Osasari can what's the report to Abba? MPP Boka. It's what report now what their banner me pamucho. And here fa ana yanko namin ko can be. And also say about yenti nkomoni bi yenti ni yenti nkomoni.
Madam Chair,
Adam, respectfully, you can't do that.
on record. It's important for us to, especially when
Governor, can
Yes.
you please show me where I can find the 3.8 billion loss in your
Madam
financial
Chair,
statements?
we will provide that to the committee.
You will
No,
provide
because
it?
I have seen the 1.8 billion in your financial statements. I have seen.
You will provide it?
I have seen the 1.8 billion stated in your financial statement, but I haven't seen the 3.8. So, respectfully, if you can show me exactly where the 3.8 billion Ghana cedis loss has been located.
We will provide that, Madam Chair.
Hey.
We'll come back to the committee.
Governor, as for your banks, this is for 2024. I'm talking about 2024. It's on the website, but I can't find the loss of 3.8 billion Ghana cedis.
If it is, this is 2024. So you
The
wouldn't find
3.8
it.
you said was in. I have seen the 1.8 stated in your financial statement.
Right.
For the gold for oil program.
But that might be for the 2023.
No, it's
Right.
for 2024. Your 2024 financial statement is on your website.
Yes.
So I went there and then I checked. I saw the 1.8 billion loss in the. I saw the 1.8 billion loss in the financial statement, but I'm yet to see the 3.8 billion that you mentioned here in the financial statement.
Yes. So, Madam Chair, can we come back? Madam
Eti
Chair.
afi me kachira mo say MPP aban NDC aban no. It is dealing more with propaganda because otemanfo no adwena ase say manfo ni musa. So let us prosecute the MPP in the court of public opinion. No wonder say Attorney General ampeso obekọ court o. Na da bia wode nenam ntentenwa na ka me hu yi ka Bank of Ghana governor wankase wa prepare a report wo se kaba. It is a kaba dia and it you should be on top of issues. Wo se da bia ma onko na afi na onko hwe ka no aba no ansa no aba beka. Na time no a wo di RTI report ma obi no na ne ma bi ka no wo. Ade ane frakadama mamuo tantan no mubu ni sa no. Ade ane dishonesty na manfo no nso adwene no medwene ho amenti asese ye bu omubu kata but the people cannot even see it. Ye bu manfo ni bukata wo asad na ye bu omubu kata but the people cannot see it. Ona wo dia betu dwa se manfo no mo Friday say yaboka MPP aban yaboka. What appear before the Public Accounts Committee? Yebusa a simple question. Governor, can wahini nyina yenkan bi wosi wo mame nko mame mpini machibra. Meka kira mo se frakadama memu ni ebua onnyi ntum. But munya hunu yenye problem. Media me hunu. And at the right time, I know some of you will also see it. So clearly, NDC Abani believe in propaganda and only catch the attention of the Ghanaian people much more. Na say be na ube hunu say nei ase because Gen Z is a phone in yenti. I'm going to walk you through the nation's political history. Say you're corrupt, and NDC you're corrupt. We need to walk ourselves through the nation's political history. Medical says for Oforiata, Wama Meyina Noah. It will be perceived as though Oforiata a kromfo, and to a far extension, NPP so a kromfo party. That is how come as President Anado Danko Kufuado said ya we tinti. Said ya we so mo Oforiata and resign. Not even when 70-something members of your parliament a press conference and you wouldn't resign, you know. At the time wow pe and resign. You need to impress on Oforiata. So omra no omra meyina no. Other than that, the notion, the perception which is being created is that MPP are corrupt to the point that Omo finance minister ntimi mma meyina no. Make a sense so. From 1992 besine, there has not been a single MPP appointee yet jailing for the act of causing financial loss to the state or yet corruption. So for Oforiata Madia, ye need any bargaining chip, bargaining power bia. I bet me say NDC ye corrupt. Etinana Kufado, with the greatest of respect. Untimi ma wunyane hide behind the idea of miyare, meyare. Politics perception is equally important as a reality. And the perception being created is that MPP are corrupt. Etikache unyane se womra. Omeyina no. I know say Attorney General when you are arguing so fight corruption. Because if indeed Attorney General wants to fight corruption, then he can try Oforiata in absentia. If they said nam tamakulu, yeah, try no. Na said nam tamakulu, said nam wa no ni ho. But ye try no, jeli no. Abayi ba ye onye interested. Abayi also fight corruption. Obaye onye interested. Now the trail of prosecutions, the truth, woman said National Democratic Congress, ye re-emphasize omo ye corrupt party. Because from President Kufuor time, ebesine, ye intimate for one single MPP nibiantum, and ye remember when the NDC is in power, corruption thrives. When they are out of power, accountability catches up with them. If this is the time when MPP I am in support. Say any day, any time. Yanchuamungum. Me say any day, any time. If say MPP for baby we are at the can Oforiata your friend say Ababa friend say Minya Bay. Oh, a national service in your friend say give to a worry. Say give to a worry you. So why you? So Omaba Ababe we are Mount Fonisika. They should be arrested and be jailed. Any day, any time. Because MPP nye breeding grounds for criminals. Ye kwakwa sere tumi free manfo ne ho. Se ye petumi ni aba beso manfo no. Be bia no ye ka kire manfo no se moma ye tumi ni emra mewiamo. Manfo ne ma tumi se bra beso mo mu a, oma ye wo honor. They've given you the chance to be a minister. They've given you the chance to be a CEO. They've given you the chance to be a deputy CEO, deputy minister. And sa portfolio no na would need before. It is a nyame wa dom na aba betena sa akonwa ni mu a. Emu achede a wunya ye nchew because of wo ofe. Munyina mbedi adanse a mufra ban mu. Christmas hampers ana munya bio. Because those things were not meant for you. It was meant for the office. Emu sika gift ana munya bio. Because those things were not meant for you. It was meant for your office. In that same vein, if the people have honored you, se brabeso mo na wunya mu adodo die say, na wuye greedy, overly greedy. Now say there be. Still now be use the position the people have given you to siphon money, steal money, to rob the people of the little they can also benefit from. Untimi man be hide behind the party MPP. Now fanko wiadie, esi echi oni ejelu, and I'll be in support of that any day, any time. If say make Afrifa me tie yi. Se minya kwanya se meso manfo no any day anytime wa. Me wia ese metimi there any aban bia wote so. Se me baba so manfo no se me wia manfo no a jail me. Wontimi nya sa na wo hide na akoye na me kokati deal and a plea bargain in 30%. Wo ye kromfo you must be jailed. But the records also shows that between NPP and NDC, NDC is more corrupt than NPP. And not the umpeu. The record shows that between NPP and NDC, NDC is more corrupt than NPP. And in America, we will take you down memory lane from President Kufuor era. Edeba see a year and neya ye kasei. Every time I yedi to me bema NDC say omumra medi to me biano. Omu be free so no omu wia manfo ni say tam. Omu wia manfo to the point that ye jail bi am ya omu presidential amnesty. It yentimi en washe sa ankrofo we. Now all of a sudden they climb the moral high ground. So during President Kufuor time, after Jeje Som ewie several top NDC officials who served under the Rawlings administration were prosecuted and jailed for causing financial loss to the state. When you small cases, when you petty infractions, these were massive scandal. I costed Ghana millions of cedis. Now the first among them, Owura Kwame Pepra. Eti Owura Kwame Pepra ene da hei. Owura Kwame Pepra former Minister of Finance. In 2003, mo nyiniye no ene ye kai mo ye de mo cut down memory lane. In 2003, under President Kufuor, time was ankrofo yi som eye oman ni wieye. 20 million Ghana cedi causing financial loss to the state. In 2003, Kwame Pepra was jailed 4 years. So between MPP and NDC, if we are looking at the most corrupt party, it is NDC and not NPP. In 2003, Nyamenameka, the record is there. Quality grain scandal, it was there. We all saw it. Owura Kwame Pepra, former Minister of Finance, Uwie Najuma, Yenyina ye aware, say oko jail 4 years. Now, when you Owura Kwame Pepra free to prove that between MPP and NDC, NDC is more corrupt than MPP. And you Owura Kwame Pepra nkwa ne ko jail. President Kufuor time, your friend Papa way a year Victor Solomi. Gen Z for na mabano. You must learn your history. Victor Solomi echo jail. Were properly convicted court. Convicted in the same quality grain scandal no, or survey time President Kufuor na emso man no pardon o said say was wo yare into man pardon. It between MPP and NDC from 1992 ebesi ne. NDC is more corrupt than NPP. NDC ye mo makonya bia so momra medi o man so a wo mbe sore no ma wia o man say tam. Nobody is going to sit down for them to whitewash themselves and climb the moral high ground. Now, uyi omu free wa. Papa we your friend Dan Agbodakwi. Obaba ye, said the national chairman hopeful also. Minim so nya you minkai the memory. Former Minister of Trade. He was sentenced 10 years in jail 2007 for conspiracy, defrauding and causing financial loss to the tune of $400,000 to the state. It yet mean trauma NDC way and whitewashing home. Na ochina omo meka so omo na ye party a omo dwene manfo ne ho ene fine oforiata na am yenya ye enye oforiata na am yenya ye dia between MPP and NDC ope party omo ya mambofo omo ya kromfo ewia manfo ne pa anytime ye be mo mutumi from 1992 besi ne yentimi mfa MPP ni bia nto jail se wo ye kromfo en maka se Kufuor do aban ne ye hwehwem na MPP ni bi ye kromfo omu a ya anti MPP ni say ya kromfo party monfa ne nkoto jail ya no bia me hide we criminal don't come and hide behind a NPP ye na nanu mu ate no omanga so mo te eme de akobokro no ye kwosere manfo ni tumi no nemum the record shows that omo ya akromfo pa wo Ghanaian politics mu a omo the record shows that omo wi amanfo no across financial loss Owura Dan Agbadakwi was convicted by a court of competent court of a jurisdiction. Anya attorney general DAB. Eti Dan Agbadakwi Genzi no oko jail. Na yenyi eno emfiri ho. Na yen state on record. Owura Chachuchi Kata between MPP and NDC. The most corrupt political party Owia Manfono. In 2008, former GMPC boss Chachuchi Kata caused financial loss to the state. Emaye jailino humanitarian grounds in the pardon. But Menowoka say Chachuchi Kata was jailed for causing financial loss to the state. Now Ibrahim Adam, former Minister of Agriculture, was also jailed in connection with a quality grain scandal. So we cannot sit down as a nation and all of a sudden the NDC that we know, very corrupt bunch of people, would whitewash themselves and begin to climb the moral high ground and say, NPP is not a corrupt political party. The records are there to show. MPP is not a corrupt political party. They say, President Kufuor era yede eye Chachuchi Kata etum, yede eye Victor Solomon etum, yede Kwame Pepra etum, yede Dan Agbadakwi etum. These are records. Ubufu, you can argue with your phone. The record shows that they are corrupt, they are thieves, they stole from the people, and these are public records. There is no single MPP person you did not add to jail for corruption. Now, in recent times, under President Akufo-Addo, Senokra na Ache, Mahama #1, Efriso, in recent times, under President Akufo-Addo, many nyina ya aware say Abu Gapeli, Enyamena Meka. The records are there to show say Abu Gapeli was jailed. Tienye. Mahama #1 appointees, they were prosecuted for 772 million Ghana cedi scandal, the NCA scandal. Abu Gapeli go jail on it. So Mrs. Awope between MPP and the NDC, the most corrupt political party, the records must show, the records must indicate that it is clearly not a MPP and a corrupt. NDC is the most corrupt political party in Ghanaian history. You can argue with your phones. I don't care. Ubufu won say me the records na echere wo. Ma nkofa no ba bia me the records ana echere wo. Eti obia metwa ntro entumfutro nwani. NDC is corrupt. NCA scandal no. 5 individuals. Eugene Bafu Boni, former board chair of NCA, was jailed. Nyamena Meka, Makachremo. Nyamena Meka, the records is there to show. Where Abu Gapeli. One Eugene Bafu Boni mo. They went to jail. William Tetetiabi, Director General, Emma NCA. Alhaji Salifu Mimina Osman, Deputy National Security Advisor. Nana Osu Ensau, Board Member. George Derek Opong. They were prosecuted in the roles of Omu player. Obia Oye corrupt between MPP and NDC. The record shows that NDC is more corrupt than NPP. We are no free war. In recent times, Opuni, Tienye, Tie Adeweyi, Opuni, and Collins Dada, Sedu Agongo, They were charged, prima facie case were found against them. According to prosecutors, over 40 million, 70 million, 98 million plus, and an SC free or more. And then NDC, your prosecutor or more, do some point, you know. NDC now was about war fighting corruption. Or by was one to scandal, a one to a prosecution. So now, and a Thompson scandal, there were prima facie case against them, but Attorney General said on to us so. And Thompson snit causing financial loss to the state. And no Attorney General said on to us what discontinue case, you know. Ope omo ye corrupter Sedinam Tamakulu at Yonu were a member of the NDC and court at Jailino. Still, NDC so mon kofanema. Ufuriata so ma be topic. But NDC so mon kofanema. M1 me serving a sentence. So the record shows that between MPP and NDC, Opomo ya kromfo wi amamfo no a enye NPP, enye NDC. Let nobody begin to brand the MPP as corrupt. Erikaka, your Okroma say venture capital, Daniel Duku, former CEO. And also, you Nico Gina Court, Attorney General Bayeno, or say on to us. And the Ebeko heard the reasoning behind Attorney General say on to us. Total loss of 42.8 million. Attorney General say on to us. So between MPP and NDC, and Mofra, Gen Zs, ye pay the most corrupt we are mine pa and NPP, and NDC. Even in recent times, double salary scandal. President Akufo-Addo period. 30 NDC MPs collected double salary. Tienye, na Akufo-Addo na ankasa so ye blame you. And you may be your friends and family. Ministers of state are no more members of parliament under John Dramani Mahama #1 for 4 consecutive terms. The MPP government took the matter, and what happened? Of course, President Akufo-Addo achew. President Akufo-Addo yesrew se no omusu nim so omo ba be wienti no ma nya omo hwi no se de you. Enya sadia. The record shows that double salary scandal no. Ye were members of parliament were moje double salary. For 4 years, and they almost 1 year proponent of a year probity, accountability, and social justice. Probity, accountability, and social justice, but they were stealing from the people. They were taking double salary. And today, the same people want to lecture Ghanaians on governance. The same people want to lecture us on who is corrupt. NDC corruption is not mere allegations, and your propaganda, and your documentary. This is pure a yet documented history of our nation. Between MPP and NDC. Ope omoma cause financial loss. Omoma defrauded the state. Omoma procurement breaches. Diversion of public funds. And repeated prosecutions. There is no one single MPP a year appointee at Wako jail since 1992 based there. It will be to me make us MPP a corrupt party. MPP a corrupt party. MPP ye will be a medical car. So being so and the Akufo-Addo abai owia will be dia. Owia man for noa. Attorney General should stop this behavior of plea bargain and makoje 30%. Na makoje na meji 60, na meji 30. Oya sa wo je 30% ni ade. Another make market for man say. Me musa Attorney General say. Sa 30% na aka no one na ekoche. Me de nyama na meka. Attorney General say prosecutions ni bo ho beji mu 70, beji 1% plea bargain. But all you know na makola man say Attorney General the oye de ya koyesa say si the 30%, 70% ne ba. Ene na akọwiese bekwa akọwiese enyam na meka do market for man no na eka so Attorney General wo pe no o match 30% nam so Attorney General do wonte sa no so Okatakyie kura nso ye ka asema wonyi ntum wonte sa say ti masan Attorney General ti but the record shows that So obi awia manfo no a munjeli no. We are not a bunch of criminals forming a political party. Our political party was not formed to come and steal from anyone. It is a Hasman was a Asamu Buffer Stockman, so a real man for no and your propaganda in the media. Monfa nenko court. Na munko prove beyond reasonable doubt. Where we are man for na mama court in Injelino. We MPP ni na asa nya adwene on this position e ye wo wasem enye masem me say obi a ye man tumi so onso manfo no a wawi a manfo ne bia monjeli no na asa ne be ye no hu say attorney general ne nkrofo omonye wo madwene say wo mbejeli obi a no. We are going to move to our next topic of a year attorney general nkomo bia omudi ye la ila la 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 la. Sir, Mobekai said, Omobaye na no mudi ora. Mebwa. Winim. Ora no winim. But before see ebeko ora no so ni intercepted document be from a year Bank of Ghana. So that document where shows that Bank of Ghana is trying to recapitalize or more can say recapitalize a year the Deben market. But Attorney General Domlevo ora. And this propaganda ayo mo de chen so mbe adwuma. Yehwe ora Domlevo ebisa question bi. Domlevo yanko.
Major concern about the ORA is that it is not going to be successful if we keep or maintain the same legal framework and institutional arrangements for fighting corruption and my major concern about the ORA is that it is not going to be successful if we keep or maintain the same legal framework and institutional arrangements for fighting corruption and corruption-related issues. What am I talking about? As we speak today, or as you and me, we are having this discussion, to establish guilt against someone for financial crimes, the person, it must be proven by prosecution beyond reasonable doubt. And financial crimes or corruption and corruption-related issues are not issues that are very easy to establish beyond reasonable doubt. Because the perpetrators of this type of crime are very intelligent and sophisticated persons. And after receiving the proceeds of crime, they are also able to manipulate evidence, even including influencing the investigators and the prosecution, and at times even the judges. So it is not going to be easy. So I think the low-hanging fruit, which are not being plugged, is what my major concerns, my concerns are about. One, if we had changed the legal framework, said that for corruption and corruption-related cases of financial crimes, one does not need to prove beyond reasonable doubt. Once it can be established that Daniel is in possession of resources or assets that do not match his known sources of income, then the onus should shift to Daniel to prove to us how he or she got it, if it's a lady. So if we do that reverse burden or lifestyle audit or unexplained wealth, I am sure that alone can deter people who intend even stealing. And of course, those who have stolen, we can easily get them to refund the money to us and maybe punish them.
So we aye owura Domlevo. On some penny forecast and say wuntimi unioma wo se wo kashiri ana enye. The basic principle of law when it comes to proving for criminal cases, proving beyond all reasonable doubt. And the basic principle of law which seeks to protect innocent people is that it will be better, say we save hundreds of criminals na dansi ebema kwama one innocent person akoda jail. Tienye. It's a one innocent person ko jail. That means we've not done justice to that person. So improving a criminal matters, unlike improving civil matters, which is a probabilities, balance of probabilities. Here you need to prove beyond all reasonable doubt. Domlevo ya aware. Said that is the basic principle of a criminal cases. Nebomuno omuntimi omoniomenti. Ura Domlevo as a young shifty the onus, the burden of proof no. Ye shifting free the prosecutor. Near fanko the accused. Said ye accusee when we find unfounded allegations, you drag the person to court, you have no fact, you have no evidence against the person, and the person now must come and explain unexplained wealth to the state. There is a reason here okwa could prove even criminal case here. Court no mawudi can establish a prima facie case. Because we don't want you to waste the court's time. There is too much cases as a court in the daily. Now, if we go the way now, Domlevo Kana, what then will happen is that Attorney General Biamuso Okatakyie Matoka, the car no effect, midnight effect, this, that. Adiachan will drag me to court. Or drag me to court, only evidence, only fact. They will catch a court and say, baby, I'm a dreaming to improve my case. It's mama the accused numum improving why you only dying only car. This is a separate matter. That is why Iyoko is there. If you want people to explain a year or more wealth, acquisition of wealth, you can file a complaint to Iyoko. Organize economic and organize a year debe. But when you go to court on the basis that somebody is corrupt, then you cannot shift the simple basic principle of law that he who accuses must prove. This is simple. This is simple. He who accuses must prove. What's the bien shifty the balance? Now the entire omuntimi prove your case no. Yenko tie attorney general. Yenko tie attorney general.
Brother Demlevo, you know, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that is for me very disconcerting and very concerning. My senior brother Demlevo, you know, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that is for me very disconcerting and very concerning, because their report was just bare-bone allegations, right? And I cannot take bare-bone allegations to court.
Okay, so we America. If a year Ura Demlevo say yes, sir, the burden of proof. The only reason Domlevo is calling that the burden of proof should shift to the accused instead of the prosecution, you know, and say Domlevo more report, you know, the comma attorney general, no. Some quasi report. Him ake and drone konkonsa and the wumo. And then America. Attorney General no asem clean. Yentini view.
Brother Demlevo, you know, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that is for me very disconcerting and very concerning, because their report was just bare-bone allegations, right? And I cannot take bare-bone allegations to court.
Their reports were bare-bone allegations, and I cannot take bare-bone allegations to court. So it is not about shifting the burden of proof. Ora Demlevo nim say enyoma na omo gigi ye ora omo printing ye papers akese omo say ye papers oni okuja 23 say mirror of justice omo wasting your time ene ayi sa akoya wa ne ho ayi moral judge ayi Martin Kpebu lawyer Martin Kpebu omo wasting your time no enkonkonsanko no mkoti hwinim ensuo nim bare-bone allegations. This is the Attorney General speaking, not me. No Kwame Afrifa Mensah, you may not like me, but clearly I am not the one speaking. Attorney General said, "Ye Domlevo mo de ba ye no. Eye sankwas nsimhunu manfo na be ye what you say? Hwinim. Paper 10 no mo printing no mo submit Mahama no mo deceive Mahama. Enyama na meka. Yenti Attorney General biu.
Demlevo, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that is for me very disconcerting and very concerning, because their report was just bare-bone allegations, right? And I cannot take bare-bone allegations to court.
Ora no insuanim. Okuya tro say you benya 21 billion ama Ghana. Attorney General say insuani ora nim. Just afi no kohwe na odi insuo. But the Attorney General yemusa question. If these are bare-bone allegations, why the press conferences? Huh? Because the public who deceive you. You, the Attorney General, under Article 88(3), is solely responsible for initiating a year conduct and conducting of prosecutions. But an Attorney General, every citizen in Ghana, Oba no about a press conference. No jailing Crofono, what me say a former national security coordinator or a part of the scandal. No one make a pronouncement to the effect that they are thieves. This is thievery. But Attorney General, you know that these are legal conclusory remarks. When a lawyer who is an Attorney General prosecuting a case begins to make pronouncement as though he is the court, before a pronouncement can be made to the effect that somebody is a thief or otherwise, it is only a court of competent jurisdiction that has the jurisdiction and the authority to make such conclusory remarks and pronouncements. Now, when we have an Attorney General who has the duty to prove the case in court, that's how Attorney General will make a conclusory statement like this is thievery, they are thieves, it is worrying. So if over 200 cases of alleged looting exist, the Attorney General is required to be investigated. But on our share, also should be any. Now, young sorry from the Attorney General view.
21 billion. About how much do you realistically estimate that you can achieve for the country?
Okay, so let's start with the oral report. The oral report was in segments, and 2,000 and plus cases that you are talking about came out of the various segments. So, for instance, if you take the land, right, you take the land looting cases, they are one component, okay, of the oral cases. Not all of them, I can say this with certainty. Not all of them will end up, going to court, right? There will be some of them. There are some of them we are. Realizing that the evidence, okay, because the oral report was a collection of allegations, a collection of complaints, and that is why I find it a bit disconcerting. When people like my brother, my senior brother Demlevo, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that.
Attorney General, yes, Attorney General on another thing. Attorney General making remarks, which is very worrying.
We are doing offshore investigations. So I have foreign asset recovery companies, okay, or personnel that are helping me, experts that are helping me to trace assets abroad.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are doing that.
And you do them simultaneously with your investigations?
We are doing them simultaneously. If I says a matter, okay, and I have still responsibility, right, for your sector.
That's right.
Right. But when it comes to, technical matters, such as, a construction project, you have technical people working on and advising the minister. So I don't know by what means a minister is going to be able to say that this IPC ought not to be paid because it is false.
Okay, so Attorney General, I'm making comment, and this was in reference to the Siglimi issue. Now, the pronouncement near very worrying. Samseladi Anyani is asking him why or discontinue some of the cases or drop charges against the likes of my very good friend Collins Dada in the Siglimi issue. Now, Attorney General is talking about a year or dropping cases because only the NTI minister must be charged when some of the things, infractions in here based on technical advice in here. I'll come and address that. But yes, NTI Attorney General briefly on this.
Opinion that this ought not to have gone to trial in the first place. There's no point wasting the state's resources in conducting a trial when I know that down the line, all right, the state is going to lose. That will be reckless. That will be professionally, and in fact, it will be unethical on my part to assess a matter, come to the determination that there is reasonable doubt, the evidence doesn't stand up, and then I say, okay, you know what, just so that I satisfy, the public, let this, continue. No Attorney General should be conducting himself or herself in that way.
Now, no Attorney General should conduct himself.
Great. Individuals who are associated with the NDC, do you regret your early decisions involving, nolly prosequi filings and the famous 60% bargains?
No, I don't. And Samson, you've known me for many years. If I don't believe in something, I wouldn't do it. And when I came into office, I did an objective professional assessment of all the pending cases. And remember, I keep reminding people that I was involved on the other side as defense attorney.
Muntie Adia Attorney General, Yebeko read the Constitution. Muntie Adia Attorney General. Attorney General said he was involved in the other side as a defense prosecution. Okay, so now Attorney General, Yentia Adia Obabeka.
Assessment of all the pending cases. And remember, I keep reminding people that I was involved on the other side as defense attorney, right? If I didn't believe in the innocence of my clients, I would not, in some cases, I would not have, participated in, their, as part of their defense team, okay? So I had an insider view of most of the things that happened. So for instance, you take, Sagleme, okay? Sagleme, by all standards, was poorly investigated, all right? And the charges were poorly thought through. I'm saying this with all due respect to the people who drafted the charges, to the, state attorneys who were involved. I believe in their professionalism and I respect, their knowledge of criminal law a lot, all right? In fact, some of them are better than I am when it comes to criminal law. But I did an objective assessment. And so I give the Sagleme case as an example. Now, if you look at the case, they were talking about $200 million, all right, of funds, that were misused or lost to the state as a result of the actions of the persons who were charged, including my then client, Collins Dowda, all right? Well, we did an assessment of it. Collins Dowda was charged with causing financial loss to the tune of $200 million. But Collins Dowda was in the ministry for a very short period. At the time that he was leaving, only $94 million had been expended.
Attorney General said, oh no, because now or insider knowledge, and then the boy money concluded say charges near week. But the Constitution says something very different and it's very clear. Yanko read Article 284. Now yen read Article 284. Now already Article 284. Article 284 says that a public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interest conflict or is likely to conflict with the performance of his office. Tienye. Article 284. Say where a public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interest conflict. So Attorney General no a lawyer ma Collins Dowda, and then because now a lawyer ma Collins Dowda now our insider report and obey Attorney General and we use only 2 years Attorney General and the track case in him onto us. Meanwhile, say a week here, it should have been the court which will say that evidence a yediabano and yet enough. Attorney General using the discretionary powers within the Constitution, under the Constitution. But even in the usage of the discretionary powers, Article 296B, it talks about the use of discretionary powers. So when you are using discretionary powers, it must not be arbitrary, it must not be capricious, it must not be biased. So using privileged information, you gain it as a defense lawyer to later drop charges as Attorney General, it creates a perception of bias. So Attorney General now or defense attorney, Emma Collins Dowda. Na ene waba be Attorney General. Ose wa drop a charges against Collins Dowda. Ose ye nyini say oye Attorney General oye fair. But he has forgotten. Says oye Attorney General no or dropping cases in one. Although a discretion, so about dropping cases. But it violates the spirit of fairness. It undermines the public confidence. And it places the Attorney General in a position, a constitution, forbidden clearly. Was this the Attorney General or a public officer? Now, be you show discretionary powers. It must not be arbitrary, it must not be capricious. Again, you should not put yourself in a place. Now, even if the intentions were pure, and a Attorney General, and I Nasem Kayamide, because of Justice Rimsai, the former constitutional law lecturer who is also a friend, a very good friend, Nasem Kayamide, but I must say this in the interest of governance. Even if the intentions were pure, now clearly it appears as conflict of interest. If so, you're Attorney General, now be catching you say, wo now you defense attorney for a client, and now be Attorney General into a case anymore. Again, Minister no, Attorney General making a point to the fact that why is the minister being held liable for technical construction errors, and that they relied on expert and cannot be expected say be detected a false interim payment certificate. Now, I don't agree with the Attorney General. The Constitution disagrees with you because the preamble of the Constitution demands probity and accountability. Attorney General, you are aware. Your friend may be a vicarious liability, ultimate responsibility. Now, this is a case where Attorney General under Ayine, Yankongo read Article 67, Article 76. Article 76. Article 76 say, the cabinet shall assist the president in determination of general policy of government. The cabinet, it's the Attorney General, who is part of cabinet. Although you are a minister may not be a technical engineer, but they are custodians of public funds. If it's a minister, no, and they also sign. So they are responsible. So mobile oversight responsibility. Ama every adebia edebromo a jessica free the public in the hall. It is an Attorney General Bekachere said there were technical errors and infractions, and for that matter, the minister na yedi a public funds and no manano. Or no any oversight responsibility. We cannot hold them into accountable. What kind of logic is this, Attorney General? So Okatakyie said, Collins Dada, no a minister, and on the advice of technical people, it will release this, and for that matter, he cannot be held a year liable. Ignorance is not a defense. The fact that he did not know said there was error cannot be a defense for him. Ignorance can clearly not be a defense. So Attorney General Bekase, it was Attorney General, please, respectfully, your position is a bit worrying. You are becoming more of a media general than Attorney General. Respectfully, sir. You are becoming more of a media general than Attorney General. Again, Attorney General says it is reckless, unethical, and waste of state resources to pursue a case he believes the state may lose. But justice to me is not a gamble. Attorney General, what the man for court on TNA? It is not just about CIG Sika. That is why I have a problem with a yewo opposition. I want to say, and grofo we are man for the Sika or mobile plea bargain. No more than 70%, 60% bar obeje. It is worrying. Because one of the fundamental principles of punishment a deterrence. Attorney General, justice is a duty, and one of the fundamental principle of punishment. Say you do be a court, you punish nipa no, and yen nipa no be suffer ne nko and here. They mom say best serve as a deterrence. Nema afufro kon no so mu be wie sika. Now with the current posture of the Attorney General, where man for wie sika also will negotiate with them for plea bargaining and if I he eti wura you can say dufo aba wabetua sika ni bi eti me so wonko. Any and sadia minya kwana me ba be public officer, all I have to do is that ese me wie sika ni bebre. Na me wie bebre na oba na achemia me se plea bargaining metua 70% na macheko. So it is not just about a year punishing nipa na year sika, but the public interest demands a trial not merely for conviction, but also to establish a record, to expose the wrongdoing, to protect the public purse. That is what we are talking about. If it's a constitution about probity, accountability, social justice in the account, the only way you can deter people and uphold the sovereign will of the people, which is about exposing a wrongdoing, which is about protecting the public purse, it is about prosecuting the people just so the others will not have an incentive to get into such matters. So although dropping cases may save money, as you are saying, it may help the exchequer, but it does not help justice. It does not help accountability. It does not help Ghana Attorney General. So please, this analogy is very bad. Your stance is very bad. It's a weak stance. If indeed you want to, medical case say MPP ni bia wi amanfo no a monjeli nipa no. And MPP ni bia no e ba be supporting kwase asem. Se minya akwanya se meso manfo na me wie no me wi amanfo na monjeli me. I must be able to be responsible for my own actions. So the Constitution of Ghana is not just a suggestion. It is not optional. You cannot come and sit here and say that you must prosecute the people. Because the Constitution is the supreme law of Ghana. And when the Attorney General's actions or inactions appear to contradict the Constitution, yen prosecuting Crawford to serve as a deterrent. For me, Ghana deserves better. Ghana deserves a transparent government. Ghana deserves accountability. The Attorney General position way is very wrong. You need to move away from it. You cannot treat this business as usual. Say Attorney General say. Attorney General say. That's the same side. Please tell your boss. I know say now no call haka crowd fetch. Ah, and I know call haka crowd fetch in Nigeria. But in the interest of governance, some of these conversations must be had. With the greatest of respect to the Attorney General, with the greatest of respect to you, Justice Rimsai, I don't seek to undermine the authority of the Attorney General, but I believe that it is worrying. The position that your boss and your institution, your edifice is taking is a bit worrying. It needs to be checked. But the American say it needs to be checked. And the Attorney General, whether we like it or yes, clearly, you need to prosecute these cases. You need to prosecute them. You're moving away from a year Attorney General and Semina. Let's go and check Bank of Ghana leakage via leaked report from Bank of Ghana, which suggests that Bank of Ghana recapitalization of banks. Recapitalization of banks. Now, recapitalization of banks, you will start the relevant questions. Recapitalization of microfinance institutions. Recapitalization The questions that needs to be asked, we are going to ask here the very important questions. Bank of Ghana, yehunu bi paying. Mo yes adie we. Emma banks ni be ye weak. Now banks ni be ye weak, you know. Ana Akufo-Addo ne na aban de omo bete ye be kurusi. Obekaya eno bi no omkoma yes menso tabe oni ade sika. Capital Bank ni ade coffee fast. NDC aban jomama na de ma omo. Now leaked report shows that Bank of Ghana saw a recapitalization of banks. Microfinance institutions. Omo begu no because omo say Akufo-Addo pencil NDC 4. So we are asking the questions. The issue of Ponzi schemes, Yakai Men's Good. Yakai a year back home friends say, okay, so this is the report. Elikia yeye Mwajuma. Now, Bank of Ghana reporter Elikia yeye Mwajuma. I have sent my people to do a lot of work. They are going to, but we are asking the questions. Men's Good DNA been eba now for the microfinance institutions. Yeah, we said the relevant questions. DKM DNA been eba now. You said the relevant questions. Now, Bank of Ghana see new reforms eba. And now it's just a takeover because almost you microfinance no more hono. Omo MPP for nti enya recapitalization. Nefa he ne kosi he. What is the real objectives? Ye de ni di achiri. Now is there a way to acquire control over private institutions and ade beya? Ni nyina ye de ni e di achiri. NDC and they demonize the banking sector. NDC call it reckless. They call it political. It was my banom so more recapitalization. As ye when ye di any dear chiri. Ombe we no more say movie the baseline capital of a year microfinance. No more the akosro. Afena nkomo air twimba. We are going to have the conversation into detail in the coming days. The Bank of Ghana untimi mfa nkoma. You do not need to proceed. Says reforms and be good by microfinance. Where a leaked report from Bank of Ghana. If a big good microfinancer, you cannot proceed. And as a money be cheskedia, ye di any diachiri. We will be ansurubia, money be cheskediswa, ye di any diachiri. Kind of the records are there. Let's recap what we did tonight. Tonight we were able to prove that although NDC say omocha John Mahama buying also omocha a COVID-19 levy mo. Nanso me no kasa omugusua eje COVID-19 levy no. Enti Kionet aban. Me no kasa gold board ebe ka kire so Bank of Ghana so Ghana boka abno se asare as subjected the governor of Bank of Ghana when to me improve see a boka Akufo-Addo pencil good for reserve. Enti Kionet aban. We were able to prove to you tonight say between NPP and NDC the most corrupt political party NPP. It is NDC. Again, we were able to prove to you tonight that Attorney General Ayine and Ayine so obe fight corruption. Media prosecution yen the chance so obe call into the docket, obe call into a court. No ako face court no the evidence ako. Media prosecutions yen the chance aha for the records. Meeting Okatakyie Afrifa Mensa. We keep on bringing you the wo wadwene enko so. Ye bie wani ekọ ba bia wo wani enko ye. Se be ya Kionet aban ntimi ntum futuro enwu wani. I came just to serve you and baby abedi besini. Thank you. Bye bye. Sebemu ni waya mbapi akunya ya fonemi. Na sememu bageti seya kachia kasai.